To endure adversity with grace is to master the art of living. It is not the storm, but our steadiness within it that reveals true strength. Seneca. There are moments in life when you feel broken. Moments when it seems like the very fabric of who you are is unraveling, thread by thread. And let's be honest, you wouldn't be here, listening to me now, if you hadn't felt it too. Every man has. That moment when life hits so hard, it knocks the wind from your chest and leaves you questioning everything you thought you knew about yourself. Maybe it was the divorce papers, slid coldly across the table like a final judgment. Or the diagnosis, shattering the illusion of invincibility you'd carried for so long. Perhaps it was the collapse of a business you poured your heart into. Or the friend, the partner, the person you trusted most, cutting you deeper than any blade ever could. It's in those moments that the voice begins to whisper, maybe you are broken. But here's the truth, and it's one that separates the men from the boys. It's not about avoiding the storm, because storms, they are inevitable. No, it's about becoming the mountain. A mountain that doesn't sway or shrink when the hurricane screams against its slopes. While others crumble, you remain unmovable. Not because the storm isn't fierce, but because your roots run deeper. Take Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher. He didn't write his wisdom from a place of luxury or ease. No, he wrote it from exile. A man stripped of status, separated from his homeland, watching the empire he helped build crumble before his eyes. Imagine being there, surrounded by the wreckage of your own life, your dreams turned to dust. What would you do? Many would fall apart. Some would lash out in anger. But Seneca, he stood. He stood like an ancient oak tree, bending to the winds of chaos, but never breaking. Through his pain, he showed us that true strength isn't flexed in moments of comfort. It's measured in how steady you remain when the storm rages around you, threatening to tear away everything you've ever known. Think about it. Every great man in history, every single one, has faced his defining storm. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while plague decimated his people, and barbarians threatened at every border. The weight of responsibility could have crushed him, but instead he wrote. His meditations became a blueprint for resilience, the foundation for building an inner fortress that no external force could breach. And Epictetus? A man born into slavery, scarred by the violence of his supposed masters. He discovered something no one could take from him, the absolute freedom of his own mind. His body was owned, his freedom denied, but his spirit, untouchable. This is your inheritance. And no, I'm not talking about wealth or titles, or the kind of legacy etched in marble. I'm talking about strength, not the kind you see in the gym or on a battlefield, but the strength that grows quietly within, the unshakable, unyielding force that allows you to endure when everything you've known is falling apart. Because here's the brutal truth. At some point, everything external will fail. The job, the relationship, the house, even your physical health. The question isn't if it will happen, but when. And when that moment comes, what remains? It's this, your ability to endure with dignity. Grace under pressure isn't weakness. No, it's the ultimate expression of power. Facing destruction, yet refusing to be destroyed by it. To lose everything, yet lose nothing that truly matters. To sift through the ruins of your former life, raise your chin, and declare, "Here I stand. I am still whole." Let's pause for a moment and consider the blacksmith's forge. Raw, unshaped metal does not become a mighty blade by avoiding the flames. It becomes stronger, sharper and unbreakable through fire and hammering. Every strike, every moment of heat and pressure transforms it into something capable of withstanding any blow. Can you see the parallel? You are both the smith and the metal. Your adversities, the challenges you face, they are your forge. Every failure is a lesson. Every heartbreak, every loss, every misstep is another strike that shapes you. The weak, they pray for easier lives. They spend their days seeking comfort, avoiding discomfort at all costs. But comfort, it breeds weakness. The strong, they pray for stronger backs, knowing full well that the weight of struggle creates the character others admire. Your pain, it is not punishment, it is preparation. It's life's way of refining you, crafting you into the man you were meant to become. This, my friend, is discipline. And it's a choice, not a feeling. Feelings come and go. They're like weather patterns of the mind. One day the sun shines, the next, the clouds roll in with thunder. You can't control that. But steadiness? Steadiness is the solid ground beneath your feet, the foundation you build brick by brick through daily discipline and conscious decisions. Steady men don't flinch when the world shakes. Steady men breathe deeply when others panic. When chaos reigns, they don't contribute to it. They become the calm in the storm, the eye of the hurricane that remains centered no matter how fierce the winds blow. And you have tools for this. 3, to be exact. First, perspective. When life feels unbearable, zoom out. Everything you're going through, every storm you face, is temporary. This too shall pass. Second, purpose. Pain without meaning is suffering. But when you tie your struggles to a greater purpose, they transform. They become fuel. Finally, practice. The Stoics called it negative visualization. Imagine loss before it happens. Anticipate hardship not to dwell on fear, but to sharpen yourself against its inevitability. Understand this. Your life will not be cataloged by what you achieved, how much money you made, or the size of the car you drove. Those things come and go. Your true legacy will be something far deeper. It will be defined by how you carried yourself as a man through the storms. When the dust settles, the house may be gone, the title may be stripped, but the man who stood steady amidst it all, that man remains. So, here's the question I leave you with. When the next storm arrives, and it will arrive, will you crumble? Or will you rise? Will you fight to avoid the fire? Or will you embrace it, knowing that every challenge is shaping you? Be the mountain, stand steady, and as the storm rages, let it reveal exactly what you're made of. Because in the end, that's what separates those who merely survive from those who truly learn to live.